All right, today we're diving into something really cool, a totally new kind of AI. This thing, it challenges everything we thought we knew about how fast an AI can think. We're talking about a technology called diffusion, and a specific model, Mercury 2, that, well, it might just change the entire game. So yeah, let's get right into it.
So let me just start by asking you this. What if an AI could think an entire thought all at once? I mean, not generating word by word by word, but just, poof, the whole response, complete in a single go. Now, this isn't just some sci-fi idea. It's the real core concept behind a new wave of AI that's, fundamentally different from everything we're using right now.
Okay, so to really get why that's such a massive deal, we got to talk about something I'm calling the AI speed limit. You totally felt this, right? That little pause, that lag while you're waiting for your AI to type out its answer. So what's actually going on there? Why is it so slow?
Well, that lag is there because pretty much every big language model out there today, we're talking GPT, Gemini, all of them, is what's called an autoregressive model. Fancy term, but all it really means is they build their answers one piece at a time, sequentially. They write one word, then they have to figure out the next word, and then the next one after that. And it's that slow, step-by-step process that creates the delay we're all so familiar with.
A really great way to picture this is to think of an old-school typewriter. Clack. You hit a key and that letter is on the page. For good, you can't just scroll back and fix a typo from 3 sentences ago, right? The model is totally locked into what it's already said, forced to just keep building on its past choices, mistakes and all.
And yeah, that typewriter approach, it creates a huge bottleneck. This whole one word at a time thing, the technical term is serial decoding, it's just painfully slow. And because it can't fix mistakes on the fly, it puts up this fundamental wall, a barrier that stops us from having truly real-time, natural conversations with AI.
But what if there was another way? A completely different way for an AI to think? Well, this is where diffusion models enter the picture. Now, you've probably heard of this tech. It's what powers all those incredible AI image generators. But now, that same idea is being applied to language. So instead of that one word at a time slog, a diffusion model does something wild. It starts with a big, complete block of just random static, basically. Researchers call it noise. Then, in a series of steps, it refines the entire block all at once, in parallel. It's like it's sculpting an answer out of raw chaos until a clear, coherent thought emerges.
So think about it. If the old way was that permanent, clunky typewriter, this new diffusion method, it's like a modern text editor. The AI can see the whole document at once, it can jump to the middle to fix a word, tweak the opening sentence, and polish everything at the same time until the whole thing is just right.
All right, let's just lay it all out, side by side. You've got the old way, sequential, like a typewriter. It's slow and mistakes are permanent. Then you have the new way, parallel, like a text editor. And it's fast because it can fix things, refining the entire thought at once. This isn't just a small tweak, you guys. This is a fundamental shift in how these things work.
And all of this brings us to a model called Mercury 2. This is one of the very first commercial reasoning models actually built on this diffusion tech. Okay, enough theory. Let's see what this thing can actually do in the real world. And the difference? Wow, it becomes so obvious when you put them head to head. So get this. They asked both models to code a complete Tetris game in one HTML file. Mercury 2, it spit out the whole thing. Done. Meanwhile, the other model was still, typing out the first few lines of code. For something complicated like coding, being able to generate the whole thing at once is a massive speed advantage. It's not even a fair fight.
Now, what's cool about Mercury 2 is that it gives you a choice. There's an instant mode, that's like a rocket ship, just blazing fast for simple stuff where you need an answer right now. But for the really tricky problems, the ones that need complex logic, you can switch to high reasoning mode. This one's a bit more methodical. It takes a second longer to get going, but it makes sure every single piece of the logic is perfectly in place for the final result.
So what? Why does all this speed even matter? What does it really unlock for us? And the key thing to get here is that this is not just about saving a few seconds while you wait. No. This is about enabling totally new kinds of AI applications that honestly just weren't even possible before.
I mean, just think about a real-time voice assistant. You know the flow, right? You speak, it turns to text, and then there's that pause. That's always been the bottleneck, the AI actually thinking. But with a diffusion model spitting out the answer almost instantly, you kill that awkward silence. The conversation just flows. It becomes natural, fluid, actually real time.
And this isn't just for quick chats.
Check this out. In a really complex task where an AI agent had to dig through documents to find an answer, Mercury 2 got it done in about 4 seconds. A similar model, Gemini 3 Flash, took around 17 seconds. Now, for these agent systems that are doing a ton of work behind the scenes, that's not just a little faster, that is a game-changing difference.
So this brings us to the verdict, right? What is Mercury 2 really? And the thing is, it's not trying to be one of those giant know-it-all frontier models. Not at all. Instead, it's something different. It represents a whole new and I think vital class of AI.
The best way to describe it is a workhorse model. Yeah, you're not going to ask this thing about the meaning of life. But if you've got a specific, well-defined job that just needs to get done fast and get done right, powering a customer service bot, analyzing a document, running through a spreadsheet, this is the specialized tool you grab for the job.
Let's talk numbers, because they're pretty wild. Mercury 2 can hit speeds up to 1,000 tokens per second. Now hold on, I know what you're thinking. Other models can claim speeds like that. But here's the kicker. They usually get there by throwing tons of expensive, specialized hardware at the problem. Mercury's speed, it comes from the code, from the algorithm itself. It's a software advantage. And that software advantage, it translates directly to cost. We're talking just 75 cents per million output tokens. That is incredibly competitive. And that's what makes it a true workhorse. It's not just fast, it's cheap enough that you can actually afford to use it all the time for real-world stuff.
So let's just wrap this up into a neat little package. What is Mercury 2? It's the first diffusion model built for reasoning. It is blazing fast, it is super competitively priced, and it has a big 128K context window, which makes it perfect for those complicated, time-sensitive tasks where, let's be honest, speed is absolutely everything.
Which of course brings us to the big, provocative question. Is this the beginning of the end for the transformer? The architecture that's dominated AI for years? Look, the jury's still out on that one. But one thing is absolutely clear. Diffusion models aren't some weird science experiment anymore. They're here, they are unbelievably fast, and they are carving out a whole new path for AI. The race, my friends, is officially on.